Yo, 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 what's going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we're going to be continuing our Top Stats series as we take a look at our next instance of leaderboards, which is the top 25 strongest players in the game as of August 2023. Now, before we get started, as always, I'm just going to do a big reveal. Before that, I always have to preface with information because I often see comments that makes it seem as though people aren't watching, I should say, are not watching the video all the way through, which is, again, is understandable because at least I can understand where some just come on, they're like, I'm just going to scroll through, I'm just going to find this, but then some of them will often post comments that I already answered, and if they just watched everything here in the beginning, obviously it would have helped. So, number one, data was captured on August 13th across about a 5 to 6 hour window. Point number two, we looked at Kingdoms 1 through 160, which essentially is just inclusive of all the merged groups up to 160. As of recording this, I believe 131 is still its home kingdom, and that's the 131 to 144 group. Point number three is that, of course, as always, any data that you see where players are stronger by the time this video comes out, remember that probably should and most likely will be the case. Why? Because as time goes on, players are either going to be healing or just powering up in general, right? So we kind of do more instance-based data pulling in that moment, and then we compile, upload. Point number four, which is, for those of you that are interested, there's two parts here, right? The sheet that we're viewing right now is the master sheet. However, I do have a public spreadsheet. What I do with that is where we upload, or I'll upload one of these tabs about 24 hours or less after this video releases. So as an example, if let's say this video releases, or let's just say on whatever day it does, basically just count 24 hours from then, if not less, and then you can go and view this public sheet, which I'll show you now as I guess kind of 0.45. But if we go and we take a look, let me just make sure I have, let's do this real quick. I just got to make sure I'm actually on my Discord, and I think we are. Cool. So hopefully this works. Let's do a little double click here. Bam, there. Lovely. And so this is where you'll come. When you can join the Discord, you can find a link to this in the pinned comment description down below. You'll just simply, when you load up, information will drop down. You'll go to reaction roles. You'll just select the middle one, which is Call of Dragons. Once that happens, it'll load up this category. You'll just go here to COD leaderboards, and you can find our top stats. This is the public one that's available. There's also world fastest behemoth elite raid times. Got to do a video on that because there's been some updates there, along with eventually I think our week 2 ROW leaderboards video. And again, those are updated in real time as well. Okay, let's go ahead and come back to the goods. All right. So here we go for our big unveil. Again, this is going to be our top 25 strongest players in the game as of August 2023. Here we go. So working our way top down in typical fashion. We have number one strongest player in the game currently is, and I should point this out for strongest player, right? This is probably the thing that I forgot to mention before, but I go off whatever the current power is. It just takes too much time to have to click, because for things like historical power, as an example, right? Where I'd have to click on the player, click more info, right, and then look for historical power, right? So it's kind of 2 to 3 steps at that point compared to just looking at the leaderboard. Then you have to factor in that I'd have to do that for every single strong top player. It would just increase the amount of time it already takes for me to pull the data. And so I will say that if I was doing this full-time, as an example, and I was making enough to do it full-time, then I may consider, I wouldn't promise it, but I may consider doing something like that. So anyways, I digress. Let's continue. So number one is Jedi's Southern Light, who came in at 195 million here from SSS1-10. Now, also bear in mind that the powers you're also going to see, right, can be from kingdoms who are either fighting and just going in and or have been fighting for a while, and that's where you're seeing power decreases, which most is either the case for everyone here, if not most. Then number two, right? But I also like this. I feel like I should have prefaced all this in the beginning. The other thing I'm going to say is that I like doing it this way as well because I find that it gives other people an opportunity to kind of make the top 25 list because of the way that I go about doing it. If I went off historical power, then to be fair, you know, as an example, Nephisto would be number one consistently, right? Because I don't think there's anyone that has a higher historical power than he does at the moment. So again, just want to point that out. right? And again, you can agree, disagree with that. I just wanted to give at least an explanation for why I'm doing it the way I am, so there is some transparency. Number 2, DX is Jason Gee at 194 million from same kingdom. We got number 3, Jedi's Northern Light, 180 mil, same kingdom. Number 4, we got 066 787, who is Nephisto. And again, we ended up, for anyone that's curious, there, I believe there was a name change. I don't know. I don't know exactly why. I don't know because if he just couldn't get Nephisto back or what it was. And then obviously there's a whole thing with him being in 066, which we might get into later. Number 5, NK's. I wish I could pronunciate these names. And you know what? Just because we're doing it right now, I'm going to copy this. And I'm just curious. Again, I don't want to butcher it, but let's just see what Google Translate hits us with. Because I am somewhat curious. So let's do detect language. Okay, so someone who speaks the language, right? This is Chinese. You're going to have to tell me if this translates appropriately. It says, "I'm not your cup of tea," which is, if that's the case, if that is the name, or if it's something close to that, that's absolutely hilarious, and I love it in a good way, right? If that's the person's name, "I'm not your cup of tea." That's pretty dope. If that is the case. From SSS 1-11. Number 6, our boy FSK Kyle, right? One of the friendly minions. 171 mil, SSS 1-12. DNS, it's actually kind of fun. Let's see what this one is. This name? Oh. It couldn't have been the same thing. Oops, let's do this. Z, here we go. Let's do a copy. This is With the Wind. This is Chinese as well. Okay. Again, you guys have to let me know. I don't know how accurate this is or not. And then we got LNV, one of our favorite names in the game, Bodie McBoatface. Gosh, love that. 153 mil, SSS 1-14. Number 9, DNA FLV. 148 mil, SSS 1-11. We got number 10, END Toxic, 145. I kind of like the spelling of this, just creative in its approach. 145 mil, SSS 1-15. Number 11, BDO Lagunis, which I don't know if that's off the beer, a play off the beer name. 141 mil, SSS 1-11. We got number 12. Let's see here. Totally curious on this one. This is Dumb Crab. That's what this one is. Don't know how accurate that is. 140 mil, SSS 1-11. Number 13, DNA Evil Noon. 138 mil, same kingdom. Number 14, FGHT Dead Account. Okay, I mean, it's obvious. You know, it's like going with Wedgehead, if you know what I mean. 131 mil, SSS 1-13. Number 15, BDO The Dude Bro. I had to say it like that. It just, feels like you gotta finesse that a bit. 129 mil, SSS 1-11. Number 16, LTS's X Factor. 129 mil, SSS 1-33. LOR Kamarakoto. 128 mil from SSS 1-26. LOR PopoQT. Or PopoQT. PopoQT. Don't know if that's how we're going. 126 mil, same kingdom. Number 19, DNA. Oh, let's see here. You guys are making me work today. Ningbo? I feel like I shouldn't say things that could be misconstrued as negative or offensive if I don't know what they are, especially if they come up as something random. So, yeah, my bad on that one, just in case. 124 mil, SSS 1-11. We got Dark, number 20, Dark Spoon. Which is funny when you say it like that. 122 mil, SSS 1-32. Number 21, DNS King C. 121 mil, SSS 1-11. And number 22, ROA Tony. 121 mil, SSS 1-21. We got number 23 from TA, our homeboy Dozzers. What up, baby? 120 mil, SSS 1-8. We got number 24. Let's see, OXO Kai Stu. Okay, I mean, that can't be offensive, right? If that ends up being the case. 119 mil from SSS 1-21. And then at the bubble position, number 25, BXS's Papi. I feel like you got to put a little Spanish twang on it, if you know what I mean. Okay, that rounds out our top 25. Now, it should be noted that the bubble minimum has improved by 15 mil, right? Or I guess 14 mil if you want to be technical-ish. From 104 to 119, or almost 105 to 119. And then at the top end, Southern Light previously, you can kind of see 193. Right now, 195. I totally forgot, actually, to do my differentials here. Oh, someone's going to remind me. I'm going to attempt to remind myself for next instance when we pull the data for next month. But you can see this, right, a little bit improving. Obviously, the range here is a lot better when it's not like being heavily pushed by Naf when he's at full power. But, and I say that in just kind of a, again, I'm always a fan of, where we're not seeing like wide power gaps. So for me, kind of it having me a little tighter and closer is nice. Given this is at 120, we're what, 75, 76, almost 76.5 mil, right, between 1 and 25, compared to last time, which was, what, 245, if you will, right, just from 25 to 1. So always a fan of that. But obviously we know that it's not necessarily the full power, right, when they are maxed out, hospitals filled as well. But then obviously some troops might have to be retrained in addition. But that is going to do it for us on this one. Again, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think down below. And I also want to pass the question off because it is something I'm curious to get some feedback on, right? If I was to consider doing something like historical power, which again does take more time to do than this. And given I'm kind of a one-man show at this point, right, remember my hope is to kind of min-max my efficiency for collecting as fast as I can and then being able to put these out in a timely manner, right, kind of around that same time once a month. But if I did do something like historical power, right, that is something that does make me wonder is that, and maybe what we could do is have a separate leaderboard. We can kind of have a current one, and then we can have like a historical power. Maybe. Anyways, I'm curious. Just let me know what you guys think down below, along with anything that maybe surprised you this go around. That is going to do it for me, as always. Until next time, I will catch you later.